So here we are, friends. We are joined with Richard Dolan tonight, and we have a target tasked by Daz looking at some experiences with Bob Lazar. Richard, I just want to welcome you to the show as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm just very happy, and everything else that was just shown that was on the show. People have been able to see that as well. The
Yeah,
drawings, yeah, those are
yeah.
incredible. I'm already just ready to fall off my chair here.
So, okay, the project number for this, it was a random number, G7N3L2H8, or if you like just the numeral digits, it was 13069731. And all the remote viewers were blind to this target, and they only had the random numbers above there. No other information was provided to the remote viewers whatsoever, and they didn't even know I was the tasker on this target. We keep that anonymous as well, so they don't have any predispositions on the kind of targets that I like to give.
I was wondering about this potential problem that because everyone has an idea about Bob Lazar, and I wondered if remote viewers would in fact latch onto something that wasn't true but was kind of true in popular consciousness. I don't know if that happens, but what you're doing here, this outcome 2, I guess that seems like that's your strategy for dealing with that type of possibility. Am I right?
It is in this case, yeah. That was my thinking behind the target.
That's
interesting. Try to divide them in one area. If it wasn't true, they would go to the Buddha target. If it is true, they would go to the Bob Lazar thing. But you are right in that we have experiments in the past where we can show this, that it is possible for a remote viewer. And we have to be honest about this to anyone out there. It is possible for remote viewers to pick up and describe things that aren't physical, so they exist in popular culture.
Mm-hmm.
So we do it. Everyone has to be a bit wary about the information from remote viewers and use it with other sources of information to confirm it. So because we can go anywhere in time and space, there are no limitations.
Yeah, thanks.
So so this was the target outcome 2. If the events didn't happen, I was hoping that there would be nothing for the remote viewers to review, so they would go to the Buddha target and describe that.
I'm still reeling from the original drawings that you guys just showed, which I don't know how you were able to latch on.
There's more than that.
There's a lot more.
Yeah.
So no, I'm just I think it seemed very accurate to me.
Okay, well, let's get into our data, and let's start with Edward and see what he brought back for us. Edward.
And it felt very military to me. And there were military type of people giving orders, move out, do this, do that. And there was an operation going on there. And I felt like there was like an oversight committee that was really ordering people around, And so, yeah, it felt like a military setup here. And I wanted to know where this whole kind of move, where were they going? And they were moving to this military base here. And it felt very organized to me and very operational. But they were going to this base. And this is kind of more of what they were doing, this whole military thing, move, move, move. And they're doing all this kind of stuff, bossing everybody. Everybody is very operational, very organized, very under command is really what it was. So I want to know what's going on. What's the situation here? And something even felt like there was some kind of a threat there. That they were kind of there to maintain. And it felt military, but it also felt scientific as well. Like they were doing something operational in the area. And there was something very designated to that specific area, that specific territory. It was both military and scientific. And it did feel old to me. I don't know what their thing with these UFOs, if they're new or old, but it did feel old to me. And that something had landed there or ended up there. And now the place is interesting. And there was something there that needed to be moved or relocated. And something about the place didn't feel unsafe to me. And they were going to move it to a new area, a new designated area. And so they were kind of in motion of moving this thing. And there was this, transport craft in the sky. That's all I'll say. It wasn't there was a transport craft hovering in the sky, and it was just hanging out, and it was right by this thing, and and it was moving stuff.
Great session. I see as you're going through it, a lot of heads nodding. I'm guessing there's lots of corroborating data among the viewers in here too, which is always fun.
I want to reiterate, I'm a big skeptic of the topic in general. And so when I go into remote viewing session, I'm not automatically wanting to draw aliens and UFOs. And so that's the last place that I go when I'm in a session. So this was a very interesting session. And if you were to ask me now, after remote viewing it, how I feel about Bob Lazar's story, I will refer to my session that something is real there. So, again, that's coming from a skeptic of the whole topic. So I just want to put that out there.
Thank you, Edward. Okay, Nyiam, let's take a look at what you have for us.
Okay, so this is like what's called my S3, which is like kind of like all my low-level data compiled on one page, just to give an overview of what I had. So I had like land with hills. I did have a disc thing in the air, energy moving up, life, structure, and I had a water element as well, which seems like it's a reoccurring thing in people's sessions here. And like Edward, I cut my teeth in remote viewing doing kind of like just straight edge targets. So when I see something, kind of like the last thing my mind goes to is UFO stuff. So my initial impressions here was people trying to build or reconstruct something, assembling or reconfiguring something. And in the beginning, I was thinking, is it an astronomical thing? This was one of my this is one of my more clear moments in my session. I see a person exploratory, looking for some kind of proof. He's a researcher on a scientific endeavor. He's baffled, doesn't understand. It's the question of the century. I get the sense that people would say like, this is impossible, things like that about it. And I got the sense that it's like maybe something they dug up or something they found, is what, he's baffled about. And I even, in my whiteboard session, I kept saying it's like, maybe it's archaeology or something. I just kept getting the sense that something was uncovered. I saw people, multiple people in a dusty area trying to complete a project. And my sense was like a reconstruction. They're following some kind of blueprint, shifting things around, workload, teamwork, hoisting, lifting, moving things. This was, a screenshot from my whiteboard session. They're astonished as they kind of hoist something out. Something's uncovered. I get the sense like of the veil was lifted. Did Bob Lazar ever claim to actually come in contact with any bodies or anything like that?
No, he had said that he thought he might have seen a being, a non-human being at a distance, out of the corner of his eye or walking by. As far as I recall, that's as far as he ever claimed.
Okay, because I see a body, and then I saw this pretty clear. This looked like a remains, somewhat preserved remains of something. I don't know if I could call that human, but something laid to rest there, and I get the sense of do not enter with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then here I saw a person using some kind of tools, maybe doing an incision or something on a body. And I said, this reminds me of like exhuming human remains or something like that. Scientific discovery, incision, it's being documented. And then I got the sense of they are not going to believe this. That was my sense on there. So,
I mean,
all right,
even though Bob Lazar never claimed to have seen a dead alien body, is it possible that you could have viewed it anyway, even though he didn't see it?
Oh yeah, it could be something happening in that area, right?
Yeah, right.
In the similar location, yeah.
Wow, very cool. Okay, Dick, let's see what you have for us.
Right off the bat, I see that. And my S3 is a disc that's metallic, quite big. It's in the air. The air is like ionized, like there's a plasma around it. It affects the air. There's some type of tracking, like satellite or some tracking device following it. There's a mechanical arm lifting something. Here's the craft again, my best visuals. Like, holy crap, man, I'm looking up at the bottom of this thing. And the air is distorted slightly around it like a heat wave, but it's not hot. There's like some energy field. Has sensors, a communications pod. I said the communication is more advanced than the propulsion. Now I'm in a structure, a large building. There's like a loading dock or a garage door. I guess that's what you showed in the feedback, Daz. Vehicle enters, and there's guards as security outside. This is done with a plan, with operational security. The arrival is planned, it's timed, rehearsed. There are men on radios with communications. There's an overwatch. This is a secure thing. It's delivered to a meeting. Something is unloaded. I'm getting examination stuff. Something is scanned, like a CAT scan or MRI or something. There's readings on a screen with numbers and values.